and welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Wimbledon. We're back. It's a brand new season. If you're still enjoying the series, of course, drop a like on the video. If we could get 400 for the first game of the season, that'd be superb. Obviously, it's the Community Shield against Chelsea, because, of course, they won the Cup, we won the League, so we're going to play off against them today, which is going to be interesting because, of course, well, you know, we kind of screwed up the final a little bit, but there you go. So, transfers, of course, is why you're here. Now, this summer has been an interesting one because I was looking at the squad and I just couldn't find many areas where I was like, yeah, we need to spend lots of money here. Because the fact is, remember, a lot of our players are still young and have still got a lot more to come from them. And this is one of the beauties of the way that I like to play the game. Well, one of the things that I think benefits further down the road if you sign young so much is that after a while, sometimes you don't even have to sign anyone because the players just keep getting better. Not always, obviously, some players just won't. But I feel like this year, players have started to really step up and it was really difficult when looking around. So we have made some signings. I don't think anyone's left the club, actually. I thought about selling a few players, but we'll explain that in a sec. So there's only 3 players to show you guys coming in, but anyway, cue the music and I'll show you guys the players that we've brought in and we can talk about what's kind of happened over the summer. So I'll join you guys in a sec for that. So firstly, going out, these are players that have been released. We didn't actually sell anyone, but players did get released from us. Adam Kirk is one of them. He was never going to really be able to get in the team, not with the likes of Peter and Mateus around. He just wasn't good. Yeah, okay, he gave us his part of our English quota. And I saw some comments the other day about how you must sign loads of English players. No, I mustn't. I must sign good players. Players that are good are better than players that are English. And I really wish people would understand that. Yes, I know you need them for the, quotas and that, but we've got plenty for our quota. Our quota is fine, just as it was last season. It's fine. Honestly, players are good because of their abilities, not because of their nationalities. And it's surprising how many times I see comments saying you need to sign more English players. Fair enough when it's to do with the quota, that's understandable. We met our quota, so that's fine. But I just really find it odd that people still seem to think that players are good because they're English or that matters in any way. I'm not the England manager. I'm the Wimbledon manager. I care about Wimbledon. So yeah, Kirk has left to go join Bristol City though. That's just one of those things that had to happen in the end. But I couldn't justify giving him another contract because he wanted 90 grand a week, and I just felt like there wasn't quite enough there for me to give him 90 grand a week. He wouldn't go below that, and I just thought, all right, if you can't, then he's a legend at the club. He's an icon now. We actually moved up to an icon, as did a load of players after the cut-off point, so it's finally sort of updated, so that's good. But yeah, Bart Ramselaar unfortunately has left the club. Kevin Stoyle also left, but he was one I just sort of signed because, again, for quota purposes, and he just never really fit the bill in the end. Shane Williams was another one that promised a lot, but this last year would have been his big chance to break through, but unfortunately he just got drowned out by the arrival and the emergence of Kenneth, basically. So he's left and he's joined Sheffield Wednesday on a free transfer, and I was quite happy to let that happen. I know we spent a lot of money on those guys, but sometimes you've got to take a loss, and we've made a lot of money elsewhere, so I think I'm pretty happy still. First player to come in, 7.5 million, is Adrie Schut. Now, he's joined us from Young PSV. Now, I've actually got 2 players are coming from Holland this time. Now, I was looking originally for just young players, basically. I wanted to see, what I generally do at this point in the series is instead of trying to sign players that are going to fit into our team straight away, because there's just a lot of players that just aren't going to do that anymore. Because the issue we've got, and I really need to discuss this, because people keep saying you need to sign someone that's world class, a world class player. We have one player in our team that is considered to be world class, I think, and that is Salvi, right? Salvi is worth £50 million. That means that if we were to sell him, he'd be worth, I don't know, we could probably get like 80, 90 million probably if we were to try and flog that away somehow, right? We don't have the money to sign players that are world class. I know our rep is still low, so in order to sign players that are so-called world class, we just can't do it, and that's just not something we're ever going to be able to do, I don't think, because our money situation, we're never going to have the transfer budget of Manchester City. They might have less in the bank than we do overall, but their transfer budget is still like 120 million probably, or excesses of that. I don't know, they're spending a lot of money on our players trying to get them, so I assume they've got a lot of money kicking about. So that's something that's really quite important to note. We can't go out and sign players that are world class, so we've had to build the team like this, and we're still having to. So Adrie Schut, who is a great name by the way, because he's called Shot. I don't know if that's the case, he's Dutch, so that could be wrong, but yeah, I brought him in originally because I was planning to move on Isla, and I wanted to have someone that could bring through there, but eventually I kept Isla because the most we could get was 15 million, and I figured, you know what, we may as well just keep him for a year and just get something out of him this year, and I figured that's what I would be best to do. But this is Adrie Schut. He's coming for 7.5 million from Young PSV, and I couldn't really turn it down really when I saw him there. He's very, very young. I think he's from this year's youth intake, so I love getting them as young as this. Basically, it's perfect because you get them really, really cheap. 7.5 million. But that, to be fair, he looks like he's got a bit of potential about him. He's got decent stats in some positions already, so I'm pretty pleased. Next up is a right back. We brought in a right back. He's come from Feyenoord. I said I went to twice to Holland. Now, I almost forgot about him. He joined us quite late. Well, not quite late in the window because we're still in the window, of course, but quite late in July, basically, because I was looking around and I was like, hang on a minute, we should probably look for someone that can back up Javi Manquillo this year. A bit better than the likes of Botso, with maybe a little bit more to improve. And you might think, 3 stars, that's not very good. I think the reason now is that me signing players that look pretty solid stat-wise, but they're not getting too good on the stars. It's just because we've got some players like your Baltams and your Salvis and your Fabios that are so good that it's making everyone else look bad, basically. And I think that's genuinely what it is, because I couldn't see, like, I was looking at scouting some of the big players from like Barcelona and Real Madrid just to see what their sort of star ratings were like in our squad. Real Madrid's starting centre-back is a 3-star player according to my scouts. So I actually think that perhaps there's a lot to be said for some of the players that we're bringing in. I looked at moving on Mohar. City did put a bid in for him, but they wouldn't move above 20 million, and I kind of wanted a little bit more, so we've kept him in there. But I think that Ballesta, now someone did tell me it was Ballesta, but apparently if it's from Catalonia, which I believe he is because he played for Elche, he actually is pronounced Ballesta, so I don't know. One of those things. I'm doing my best with the pronunciations. I'm not a linguist, but hey. So yeah, this is Unal, or Usal rather, Iseki. He's a Dutch player, but I assume he's got some either Turkish, probably Turkish background. But yeah, he's going to be the backup this year. He's only a rotation option to Javi Manquillo, so that means we've got extra options now. In terms of his actual stats as a comparison to Manquillo, they're very, very close in all the mentals and the physicals. However, he is better in certain areas, one of which is in the air. He's got much better heading and jumping reach than Javi Manquillo, so that might make a tiny little bit of difference. However, his attacking prowess is not quite there. When you compare the two on their... here we go. I just want to show you this. That one makes him look much better, but when you actually look at the overall, mental-wise, he's a tiny little bit worse. No, he's not. He's slightly better, in fact. Defending and physical are both the same. He's a little bit faster as well. Okay, vision, attacking, and technical, he's a little bit lower, but he is younger, of course, and he's much, much better in the air. So I think for the most part, we've got ourselves a solid player in Iseki. Iseki, by the way, cost us 18.75 million. Now, this is our final signing of the summer. Now, I was looking around and I wanted someone that could both be a decent player for the future potentially, but isn't awful now and could act as a backup. As you can see, he is a backup. And this is Edgar Neves Magalhaes. I don't know if that's pronounced correctly or not, but you'll notice that although it says there, we actually signed him from Chelsea, which is impressive. We actually signed a player from Chelsea. He's cost us in total 35 million. And I know that's a lot, but it's from Chelsea. But the main reason as well is that I know it says he's Portuguese, but he's actually English. He came through Chelsea's youth academy. So he's Portuguese nationality, but he counts as a homegrown player, and has trained at a club in England for, from the best kind of homegrown player. So he's a solid player that can play there. He's got okay finishing, some decent stats across the ball. He places shots and comes deep as well, which is nice. So I'm pretty pleased with Edgar Neves. We'll just call him that for now. But yeah, so I think that he's a solid signing as well. We haven't done a lot in the summer, and I did say that, but I just didn't want to bring in players for the sake of it, basically. I didn't want to go, I thought about bringing in another striker, but then I thought, well, we've got Peter. Yes, he didn't have the hugest brilliant season last year, but what's the point in me bringing in another player that might have the same risk when we could just stick with Peter for another year, and I think he's going to do better this year. It's just one of those things. I didn't want to be signing players for the sake of it, particularly as it puts the club more money in the hole, and I just feel like the team we've got is improving nicely, and I didn't want to be disrupting that. I wanted to be building underneath it rather than disrupting what we've actually got. So that's all I've done in terms of transfers in, basically. I know it's not a lot, but that's just how it is. I'm trying to be sensible about our transfers this summer rather than overdoing it by splashing out huge money where I don't really need to. And he, for me, might even come out of that bracket as well, but I still think that there's potential for him in the long run. Right, we are on the tactics screen. The first thing you'll notice is that there seems to be players missing, Matt. You're fucking right, there is. Notice that we've got players away on international duty now, in August. The Olympics has happened, and apparently that means we get to lose our players for most of fucking August. Look, you'll notice that they're all back on the 24th, I think. Even though, as far as I can see from looking at the Olympics football, the last game of the Olympic football was on the 14th. I don't know. So we're actually going to be missing Gomez, Achibar, Salvi, Mohar, Baltam, at Peter and Iseki for the first 2 or 3 games of the season, which is an absolute piss take. But there you go. So we're going to have to go with Fabio, Kenneth, Isa and Everton, thank God we kept him in a way, Masek, Farmer, Granger, Ballesta, Zissa, Manquillo and Garfrescoli, but the bench is West End's a little bit less important there. So we've got Arne, who's now actually available to play for us after 5 years on loan, Makula, we've got Neves, Mateus, Bozzo, Tolson and Murphy. So it's not great, but again, it's the Charity Shield, so we're not super bothered. It's just a bit frustrating. I've taken Garfrescoli off of free kicks as well. It had to be done. This year, I know it sucks, but it's like one of those things where it could make a huge difference this year, because I don't want to lose a Champions League game because our goalkeeper's taking free kicks. If there was a setting you could have where a player stays back on the line, I'd be all for it, but there isn't, and so Salvi's going to take them, because fact is he's actually better. He's now got 16 free kicks as well. Of course, we're just making sure we've got it all set up from last season. We're the favourites, apparently, which is interesting. Now, I saw some people as well saying, that I should take over the Bolton job. I've said this many, many times before, and I'm just going to reiterate one more time. I'm not taking the Bolton job. That's not for me. I said that I put the save up at the end with the separate thing so you guys could do that, but this is a Wimbledon save, and I'm not doing any more English saves on FM16, because I want to move things around a little bit. I want to do a save next that I'm just going to pick one that I really want to do and just do it. it. That way I can put as much passion as I want into the videos, and I really hope that's going to come across well. So we're all looking good on that one. Is there anything else I wanted to quickly talk about? Yeah, someone suggested me wearing the giraffe onesie at the start of the season. Now, I was thinking about doing it, but I don't know exactly where it is, and I haven't got a lot of time today. So what I will say is this. If we get to a final of some kind of competition, be it League Cup, be it FA Cup, be it Champions League, you never know, this season, then I will wear the giraffe onesie instead of the suit for the final, because I know you guys liked it when I did that the first time, so I may as well do it again. Now, we're on a very high line today, so I want to be careful. Granger is taking the throw, which is interesting. Comes back to Everton. I noticed that my fullback took the throw there, but we still actually had players back, which is surprising, because usually when my fullbacks accidentally end up on throwing duty, I find that we don't get enough players back. Baba, is that Rackman? Over the top, and Zissa with a good clearance, but we're still looking a bit vulnerable to these types of passes, and Azar, that is a wow. I mean, that's absolutely shocking forward play from Chelsea there. We're going to do the old drop deep, do that, and yeah, we'll just mix it up a little bit. God, I'm out of practice. I haven't played FM since like last week. It's a strange one. I've been recording in even bigger chunks than before, just because I've had to, basically. Fabio takes it short. Pasalic is there. Back to Masek. Out wide for Manquillo. Can he get a good ball in? Go on. Ball across. Everton's in there. He's still scoring goals. He might not be the best player anymore, but my goodness, is he a fantastic backup. And I personally think that keeping him and Eisler in this team is really important to our successes, because when Salvi and Baltam did have to drop out last year, we did have reasonably viable options to bring in for them, and I think that's a hugely important factor. Also, yeah, apologies for not getting back to comments as quickly over the weekend. It's Valentine's weekend, so I've been trying to sort of do boyfriend duty stuff, so I'll be doing it later this evening, hopefully. So by the time you see this, obviously it should all be sorted. Great finish from Everton there to make it 1-0 to Wimbledon. A Charity Shield victory would be quite surprising, actually, but we'll take it. Remember, we led in the final, though, of the FA Cup. Chelsea have yet to hit the target so far, so that's interesting. Then again, what I would say is if we've got players missing for the Olympics, the chances are Chelsea do as well, because my guess is they've got a shitload of Brazilians and whatnot in their side as well, so maybe they'll be missing players too. That'll be fine and dandy. I don't know, it's hard to see. Oh, Kenneth, not so good there. Farmer. Go on, Sammy. Oh, Sule. We dropped a little deeper. That's one of those situations where I actually want them to push out a little bit, really. But you can't have it both ways. Manquillo. And for Masek, I'm looking for a big season from him this year. Fabio, he's got Kenneth making the run, but he's going to have to drop it short. He's gone round a few of them there and cleared away to Gedvai. Martial's kind of collected, but he's dropped very deep. Oscar. Martial. Oh, god damn it. Oh yeah, one other thing is, I think I said in the last episode of last season that we were going to get a stadium expansion. Sorry, no, that we'd finished. We cannot celebrate, we cannot get our stadium any bigger. So I saw a lot of comments saying, ooh, you can improve your stadium. No, I can't. The only option we have here is, that's a bit pressurized, Steve. Let's just chill, shall we? That's the one. Yeah, let's just keep the pressure. No, less pressure, guys. But yeah, so we can't improve our stadium anymore. It's maximum, and I don't want to build another one right now because the amount of cost that would bring forward for us would be just insane, and we don't need that in us right now. I just don't think it would do anything for us by building a new stadium at this point. Plus, the board probably wouldn't even agree to it. Wow, we've not done a lot, and Chelsea are very good down that right hand side. So are we, but that's one issue. Everton is not so good at getting back. And I might be tempted to just put him there. And maybe put Manquillo as just put him on defend for this second half. Might be, I don't know, I've never tried that one before, I don't think. But maybe not having him so far forward might just mean that Chelsea can't go down this right-hand side a little bit more. And maybe we can double up on Eden Hazard, which is probably going to be their main threat, you'd feel, anyway. Is there anything else I wanted to say? No, we're good, basically. Just had a few things to go over. Because... Oh, that's unlucky. Goal from a set piece. Chelsea have been pretty decent in the second half. Nicolas Sula with the goal for Chelsea, and that's a pain. They've had a lot of long shots, that's what I would say. But to concede a goal from a set piece straight in the first game of the season, not good defending there, and nobody marked Sula. Not the goalkeeper's fault, most definitely the defender's fault in that sense, which is a shame, it really is. Okay, Everton, right. First thing I want to do is bring this back to how it was, because that clearly is not going to work. Plus, we've got to try and win this game now. So, changes. I'm going to get Kenneth off, and we're going to get Neves on, just to give him a little run out. I'm trying to just sort of be more interested. I'm also going to get Issa Tolson on, another English player, to give him a little run out for the end of this game, and maybe also give him a test. I don't know why my mouse keeps disappearing there. It's ridiculous. I heard a funny noise from my computer when I was doing the transfer window, and I'm a little bit worried that this is going to go all funny when I try to turn off the recording. I pray that it doesn't, but I might actually save it before Oh, Jennings is through. Oh, dear. Well, is that Stuart Jennings? It is, isn't it? Stuart Jennings with the goal for Chelsea. That's a bit poor. Didn't get a chance to make my changes before the goal was scored. That's really bad defending. I don't know why two of them came out to try and close him down there, and then neither of them actually did anything. Really not the greatest goalkeeping there from old Gal Frascoli either, to be honest, which is a shame. But it was just bad play from us, really, wasn't it? Considering we were set to close down less at that point. Here we go. Oh, that's a throw. I forgot that Alan Granger's got himself a bit of long throw ability. I just don't like to use it because he's a fullback, and it means that often when I end up with putting fullbacks on throw-ins, for some reason it means that's what we were struggling with before, when our fullbacks would take the throw-in, and for some reason, even though I had centre-backs set to stay back, one of them wouldn't, because it would treat it like a corner sometimes, and it would mean that our centre-backs, obviously, who go up for corners, would find themselves well up the pitch when they weren't supposed to be, which is a weird one. But yeah, so hopefully this year we won't concede any silly goals from goalkeeping stuff from free kicks and that. But Salvi might get himself a few, because he's got 16 free kicks and decent long shots in his game as well. So we might have to come out and attack Chelsea a little bit more. I don't think sitting deeper is going to work against them here now, because they're actually getting quite tight. Oh, wow. Right. Rest of this game, we're going to just go for it. We're going to hammer it on them. Try to create some chances. We're going to go down this right, which is something I probably should have done earlier in the game. I apologise for not noticing that. It's going to take me a while to get back into the swing of things. But our first game of the season, the actual proper season, is against Sunderland. So hopefully we can get through the first couple of games of the year without some of our stars. And then they'll be back fresh. But the problem is they might return a little bit tired, which is a worry for me as well. But you can sort of see why I don't... this high line can be really dangerous for us at times, because it's so easy to get that ball in behind us, like that from Rafinha. And good save from Gal Frascoli, but it works against some teams, but some teams will just tear you apart. Liverpool were very good at doing that to us for most of last season, although we did beat them in the FA Cup, I believe. Neves, nice little ball out for Isla. Here we go. Go on, Philippe. Get us across. Early one, maybe. Back post. Everton. Oh, he's had the game of dreams today. Everton, 2 goals today. He's in for Salvi, and he will be playing for quite a while. I'm guessing he's going to get 2 or 3 games under his belt this season. Lovely bit of pick out here from Iso. Crossfield pass, skips the strikers and everything. Everton has time to bring it down on the chest, amazingly, and smash it into the back of the net for 2-0. Sorry, not 2-0, 2-2. Looks like the Charity Shield might be going to extra time here. Unfortunately, I sense that they're going to lump one over the top and catch us out now, but I don't really know how we're going to deal with that, because we're not really creating much at the moment. What I might do is drop a little deeper but keep the tempo high. If we go into extra time, which it looks like we will do, and I've made all my subs, which was a bit silly. Oh, we go straight to penalties. Okay, fair dues. We'll just do the quick pick on that one and get this one going. I'm not really that bothered about the Charity Shield final. It would be nice to win it, because it would get us a win over Chelsea in a cup competition, which is a pretty good thing, I suppose, but it's not like the be-all and end-all. I'm more concentrating on further down the line. I started to step up to take the penalty in the final, and he scored it, but... yeah, so in the next episode, what we're going to be doing is, of course, we'll have the draw for the Champions League group stage, which is going to be exciting. I think... oh, Hazard's been saved. Well done, Gal Frascoli. Which I think we're still in pot 3, because, of course, we didn't really do a lot last year. We only got to the first knockout round, despite our brilliant performances in the group stage. But you never know. We might get a slightly easier group this time. I know we won it last time, but maybe if we could get a second side in the group that are a little bit weaker, then that might make it a little bit easier to rest players for the league and whatnot. Because I would like to try and defend the league title, because I've never actually done that in the Premier League before on FM. And that is an absolutely woeful penalty from a man that's just scored twice in this game. That is a shocker of a penalty, but what can you do? Rafinha now to step up for Chelsea. I actually looked... oh, he's blazed it over the bar. I actually looked at signing Luke Shaw from Manchester United, because it kept coming through in scout reports as like a 4-star player, and Mateus now. And I thought to myself, you know what? Maybe we should just go after someone like Luke Shaw. 27 million was his value, and I thought, you know, with the right moving money around, even if they want to load more than that, we could maybe make something of it. But... yeah, it wasn't happening. Firstly, they wouldn't negotiate with us in any way. And for some reason, it wouldn't let me inquire about him in the press, for some reason. I don't know why, but it wouldn't. And I just never actually got them to even negotiate with me. But that was my backup plan, was to try and sign someone like Luke Shaw to play as our left back so we can move Gomez into the middle. But I think this year, Ballester is going to be a good player for us. I think, you know, he had his little... oh, go on, Isa Tolson, of all people, stepping up, and it's a really good finish, actually, from the lad. We signed him from Wolves a few years ago, but he's never really got in the team. But I think he'll get a few more chances this year, because, of course, he's English, so he'll be in our Champions League squad. Zuma, great save. Gal Frascoli. Now, who's going to step up to score what will hopefully be the winning penalty? It's going to be the youngster, formerly of Chelsea, who scored the penalty to win Wimbledon the... Community Shield, and the players run away now, but they didn't win when we won the title. But there you go, guys. So that's fantastic, actually. It's good to win that one, actually. I wasn't expecting that. I don't know if there's like a squad bonus we have to pay out for that. That would be a bit annoying. But it's quite ironic that the player we've signed from Chelsea in the summer, who couldn't get a game for them, has just stepped up and scored the winning penalty in a penalty shootout against them. But there you go. So, next episode, we've got Sunderland at home next, and I think that might actually be We might have one more game after that before we get our players back. So I think we can beat Sunderland at home with this team if we were capable of beating Chelsea. Let's face it, we probably will. But it's after that, we'll obviously be doing the Champions League draw. And after that, of course, we've got ourselves a live common. Now, I don't know whether it's going to be Champions League or whether it's going to be Premier League. It just sort of depends on where everything lays. Once again, it's taking absolutely ages, so I might have to skip to the point when it's actually fucking done something. Right then, guys, I'm actually thinking, you know what, let's do it. Let's do that first game in the Champions League, because it's 4 matches in between, and that makes fair. We probably might have no, we don't have a League Cup game in there at all. So we'll have Sunderland, Southampton, Leicester and Palace. Our start is so much nicer than it was in the last season. However, we do have Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City in a row at one point, so that could be a little bit more dicey. But we've got a chance, if we really push it, to win our first 4 league games and give us the perfect start. Someone pointed out that we're very consistent against the smaller sides, and you're right, we are. And I think that just comes from the way we play tactically, because we just grind them down like a mortar and pestle in the end. So yeah, next episode is going to be the first Champions League group stage game. I don't know who it will be against, but we'll find out in the next episode. So guys, if you have enjoyed this and are still enjoying the series, which I hope you guys are, then do drop a like on the video. That would be excellent, and I will join you guys in the next episode for our first game in the Champions League this year. Hopefully we can make a better hash of it than we did last year. I really fucking hope so. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.